Tonight we are going to talk mostly about a song which was just released today. It was not at all what I was expecting to do in my video. Actually, I had many ideas in mind for this video and I couldn't choose. I was hesitating, not because I was not sure about the subject, it's just that most of my subjects were very long and I don't have a ton of time to do my video tonight, so I wanted something shorter. And this morning I saw that Have You Felt It was just released, and I went to listen to it, and then I went to read the lyrics because the lyrics were on the background of the photo. I was kind of stunned by what I was reading in the lyrics. I was very surprised because it says so much in a song, in lyrics. I'm not used to have so much information in lyrics. It's not completely direct actually, but it's kind of pretty clear. So I was very surprised because maybe you think that with Derde Verde, as I know them, as I meet them, as I talk with them often, it's easier for me to have information about them and to know them better than I knew Mark Hollis. I didn't know personally, in person, I mean Mark Hollis. I never met him, so all what I could know about Mark Hollis was through his lyrics, through his interviews, what he was saying on stage or not, or the way he was behaving publicly. But in private, I never met him, so I have people telling me how he was. It's quite different. It's not the same as when you are in person. So you probably think that for Derde Verde it's much easier for me because I know them, I meet them, I know how they are when they are not on stage. Actually, I have the feeling to know more about Mark Hollis than about Derde Verde. Yes, with Mark Hollis I had kind of a silent partner for my videos. Not exactly silent partners for Derde Verde, but they don't talk much, they don't say much. When I started doing videos about them, I thought that I would have more information, and it's not really the case. So, because they are very private people, you know, they are not the kind of sharing and talking a lot. So I take it, I have to deal with that. It's like if, here we go again, the same, except that they are here, but it's exactly the same situation, you know. It's like if I'm again in a conversation with someone's mute. Never mind, I take it and I deal with it and I do my videos anyway. I talk for two, so it's not a problem. I talk way too much. Sometimes I should just stop talking. But if I stop talking on my videos, you are not going to have videos, so I have to talk here. Anyway, I was surprised to read what I read this morning because it was saying so much information in once, you know. I was like, wow, I'm not used to that. And I was reading the lyrics again and again, and I thought, oh, I have to talk about that. So here I am talking about a song which was just released this morning and which will be on the new album, which is going to be released in a few days, mid-October. There is a show on October 14th where they are going to play their new album, and hopefully I will discover the new songs. And anyway, I'm going to buy the album, so I will know the new songs at a point. So we are going to talk a little about the music, but I'm going to talk mostly about the lyrics because the music, you know, I just heard the song just this morning. For me, it's very short to do a full review of a song in such a short time, because I really need to digest a song to understand it completely and to hear every detail. It's too short. However, I already noticed things on the song. I knew the song because I heard it live, played live, but I never heard it on a CD like here, played in a studio, made in a studio. I never heard it like that. And it's close to the live, this song, which is kind of rare. Usually there is a big difference between the live and the studio in general, not only for Derde Verde, it's very often like that. But here it's very close to the live, except for one thing, and I will talk about it. It's something that I love. I love what they do on stage, but I love what I'm hearing in the studio recording here. If you are a fan of Mark Hollis and talktalk, you are probably maybe wondering why I'm talking so much about Derde Verde. What's the link between talktalk, Mark Hollis, Derde Verde? First link, obviously, they made a tribute to Mark Hollis. That's how I met them. That was the first link. I didn't know them before going to the tribute. I didn't know them. I had no idea who was going to play at that tribute. I was expecting nothing at all. But then Dylan told me that they were doing their own music, so I started listening to their own music. When I listened to their own music, I could hear different things that I love, like a little of the Doors, like a little of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, a little of the Who, different things like that. Little influence of Mark Hollis and talktalk, but it was not obvious until the last album, which is going to be released in a few days. Because on that album, I cannot say the continuation of talktalk, because talktalk went to a completely other direction, especially with the Mark Hollis solo album. However, there is a little of the Mark Hollis solo album in this album, Slow Light, but I cannot stop thinking of The Color of Spring. Also a little of John Cope. If you watch the live in Montreux, I have the DVD that my friend Ron, gave to me, and I watched it maybe twice. I love the show in Montreux. There is no problem with the quality. I love talktalks. I love Mark Hollis, so there is no problem with the quality. It's more what Mark Hollis conveys in this show, the live in Montreux. It hurts me. It doesn't make me comfortable. I already said it in many of my videos. I already said it several times. He doesn't seem happy. He seems not to want to be there, and I can feel it. Music, it's meant to be shared, and it must go in the both way. I mean, the audience must be happy, but the person on stage must be happy too. There is this kind of sadness. Actually, the show in Salamanca, Spain, was the last show of talktalk. He never toured again after that. This album, Slow Light, all the songs, all what I heard so far, makes me think of the Color of Spring period. I'm not saying that it's terribly sad and that Dylan and Jonathan don't want to be on stage. No, it's not what I'm saying. It's just that it conveys a form of sadness and a form of loss of illusion. It makes me think of a book, Illusions perdues, Lost Illusions. I lost a part of myself. It was written by Honoré de Balzac. Yes, it has something very romantic. It's the romantic period. There is something romantic in The Color of Spring, in Mark Hollis and talktalk songs by a general way, and you find this kind of sadness and romanticism in this album, Slow Light. That's why I'm talking about that, because the link is so obvious. I was listening to this song, Have You Felt It, today, and I was trying to imagine Mark Hollis singing that on stage with the arrangements of The Color of Spring. For example, with the harmonica or something like that. I was trying to imagine it wouldn't be shocking to see Mark Hollis singing a song like that. I'm not saying that Derde Verde and talktalk they composed by the same way, no, but there is something that I find in the both and which give me the same feeling, exactly the same feeling. It's more the feeling they convey, which reminds me of Mark Hollis and talktalk. That's why I'm talking about them all the time, because for me it's a kind of continuation, not really a continuation, but kind of. So I'm going to play the song, not too much, otherwise I'm going to have copyright problems again. Yes, it happened on my last video. Never mind, it's my fault. I should have been more careful. Listen to that. This part was not on the live. There was some guitar, electric guitar too, but it was not playing the same thing. I will really recommend that you listen to this song again with earplugs or with a headset, or maybe if you have a speaker like a Bluetooth speaker, it's a very good way to listen to it. This part, the guitars, what they are doing, it makes me think of bagpipes. I know it's not bagpipes, but it's the melody, what they are playing, which makes me think of bagpipes. Bagpipes are mostly Scottish, maybe in England, I'm not sure. You have also bagpipes in Brittany, in France. I love bagpipes. A lot of people hate the sound of this instrument and think that it's too, I don't know, annoying, noisy. I love that. It happened to me when I was younger to listen to bagpipes the whole day, at the point that at home people living with me, my ex, I was like, please stop. I was like addicted to this instrument. So when I heard that, I know it's not bagpipes, it's probably electric guitars, but when I heard that I said yes, yes, I love that. So I recommend that you listen to this part in particular. With a good sound, it's fabulous. There is this part I'm going to show you, which is played, I suppose, with the Hammond organ, I suppose. Here. This part, I don't know why, it makes me horribly sad. I love the Hammond organ. I suppose it's, anyway, it's an organ, it's a keyboard, it's something like that. The sound is a little different from what was playing Randy on stage, but it looks a little like it. I love the Hammond organ. I said it so many times on my videos, but this part, every time I hear the song, not only on the CD, I mean even on stage, live, it makes me feel sad. I don't know why. Yes, there is something very sad in this part. Also, another thing that I wanted to say, This song from the very beginning makes me think of Bryan Ferry or Roxy music. I think it's because of the way the drums are played. It's very typical of Bryan Ferry. Listen to, for example, Don't Stop the Dance. It has something languorous. It's difficult to define, but every time I listen to this song, I think of Bryan Ferry. I may be wrong, I don't know. I know that Dylan likes Brian Eno. Maybe there is a link there, because Brian Eno, he worked with Bryan Ferry. I'm curious to know what you think of this song once you have listened to it carefully. For me, it's a song of now, but it reminds me a lot of the 80s Talk Talk, Bryan Ferry. So that's probably why I love their music. Actually, before this album, I was not thinking of that. I was more thinking of some psychedelic music from the 70s. Yes, also there is another thing. This album is so European. I mean, for me, this song, I wouldn't know them. I wouldn't know they are American. I would think, oh, these are British guys who are playing. It's so, there is something very British. The new song Black Painted Night that I heard at the last show that I didn't know, it has something very French. I cannot explain that. I mean, they are American, but they don't sound American. Or at least the idea I have of American music, probably, because they are American. Actually, there are songs that they made before which sound very American, but this album has nothing American. It's strange because the musicians are American and it's made in USA, so I don't know why I think that. It's like if I know them. It's like if they come from the same place from where I come. That's weird. That's why I feel so close to their music, because I recognize something of my world in that. I cannot explain why and how and what. I don't know. It's I don't know. Okay, so now I think we are going to tackle the lyrics. I wanted to talk about Xoxo, another song which is kind of close to this one, but a little different. Of course, a little different. It's another song. But I mean, in the same category, I would say, as this one. But I don't have the time to talk about Xoxo because the video would be too long and I really want to talk about the lyrics. So I will do that another time. Anyway, they are going to release the album, so I will talk about this album again and of the songs again anyway. So there are several meanings in these lyrics. There is the meaning, the first meaning that we can understand. I think that it is metaphorical and we can understand several things. There are several layers in this song, so I will try to tell you what I think of first. Probably I will understand other things later, but these are my first thoughts. So the name of the song is Have You Felt It? I've lived beneath the mighty mountain tops. For years they stand over the freeway, silent and ageless like gods. When it was new, I thought it was a crown upon the earth. But now I hardly even notice all the mountains anymore. So the choice of the mountain is interesting because it represents something which is unreachable, which is very high, something which is maybe too hard for someone who would be very young. For years they stand over the freeway. So it means that he doesn't speak about Himalaya, I don't know how we say in Tibet or Nepal. No, he speaks about mountains in the US. We have mountains here in Los Angeles. I can see them from where I live. There are the hills, and behind the hills we have the mountains. It's something unreachable. What is interesting is silent and ageless. So silent, it means that he went there. Dylan Mackenzie wrote these lyrics. So When I say he, I mean Dylan Mackenzie. So silent and ageless. Silent, it means that he went there. Otherwise, he wouldn't know that it's silent. Ageless, so it means that it's so old. You don't know the age. It's so old. It has always been there. Like gods, so something unreachable, something so perfect, so strong, so high that you can't reach it. When it was new, it's interesting the term when it was new. I thought it was a crown upon the earth. A crown, so it's incredible. This crown is coming over and over again. A crown upon the earth. So it's like a king, like someone who leads, someone who is high. But now I hardly even notice all the mountains anymore. So we could think that he's talking about mountains, as he says. I think that maybe he's talking also about goals, higher goals he had, something that he wants to reach. He can also talk about a father or someone in the family, a very important figure in the family, someone who is supposed to be always there, who is ageless, silent. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure that the father is silent. I don't know the father. I see a metaphor between the mountains and something which is difficult to reach. The problem is that when it was new, I thought it was a crown upon the earth, but now I hardly even notice all the mountains anymore. So that is another problem. That is something very important which is said here. Because a lot of people, not only young people, actually a lot of people, when we get used to something, we don't notice it anymore. We consider it like a given, like granted, like it's going to be always there. And we want something new, we want something different, we want something more. And we don't notice what we have, what is there. That's a problem because it's what creates a risk for the earth, for our planet, because we consume too much. For example, my computer, I bought it like 5 years ago. It's already obsolete. Already there are things that I cannot do on my computer anymore because it's not powerful anymore. So it means that I will have at a point to replace it. And I don't like that because for me it's a baby. I just got it 5 years ago. It's so small. It's my baby. I finished to pay for it. I don't want to replace it. It's still working. I think that people are always chasing what is different, what is new, because they don't even pay attention anymore to what they have. I see that, for example, with my older son, who always wants something newer and better and more efficient. Of course, we want efficient things, but I think we should give more attention to what we have. We should be more grateful for what we have, because it's not a given to have a roof on our head. It's not a given to have something to eat every day. We have to fight for these things. We have to really to work hard to have these things. Dylan is talking about something which is a big problem in our society. We don't pay attention anymore to what is in front of us because we don't see it anymore. And that's a problem. For example, when I put the mess in my home, it's the mess. For example, I see an armchair full of stuff like cardigans and things when I exercise. And anyway, things. When I put that there, I say, oh, I must clean that because I don't like the mess it makes. And if I forget, 2 days later, I don't even notice the mess anymore. I get used to the mess. It's the same problem. The eyes start being used to what they see, and they don't pay attention to what is just in front of them. If he's talking about the mountains, so he doesn't pay attention to the mountains anymore. So hello, Dylan, you must go back and check the mountains and take photos and remember that it's there. If he's talking about something else, like about his goals, it means that he has to remember what his goals were and he has to be very careful not to forget where he wants to go. If he's talking about a member of his family, he has to remember that we die at a point. Parents are not going to be there forever. So we must remember that. I'm laughing, it's not funny. You know, when I think about it, you could also use that for a love story, for example. At the beginning, it's super exciting. You want to reach to this person. You want to be loved by this person. You want to love this person. It's kind of unreachable. And finally, it's working. But at a point, when you have been with the person since a very long time, you don't even notice the person anymore. It becomes like usual. It's nothing special. Actually, it's a pity, because true love is not the passion of the beginning. That is not true love. True love, it's when you have been there since a very long time and you still love the person. And it's not even in spite of his or her flaws. It's because of his or her flaws. Because it's what makes the person special. True love is showing up every day, every morning, being there for the other one. And I'm not talking about a relation when you are with someone since a very long time, but this person is married to someone else. No, that is not true love. It sucks. That is pathetic. So that is not good. Or you are with someone who is never available for you. No, that is not true love. That is just pathetic. When I say true love, it's when you are with the other since a very long time, and in spite of the time, in spite of the bad, in spite of getting used to the other one, you still love this person. You still show up for this person. You still in the morning are there for him or her, and you still love him or her. That is true love. That is real. That is tangible. The passion of the beginning is not what I call true love. It's just excitement. It's just the very beginning. It's not what I call true love. So then he says, and oh, it happened. I lost a part of myself. The dust, it settled over a lonely road. Have you felt it slowing down? Did you wander out of bounds? And how it happened, I lost a part of myself. I'm telling you what I understand. I'm not telling you what he meant. It's just what I understand. He lost a part of himself because he forgot what was so important for him, what was so fascinating for him. He lost his enthusiasm. It's how I understand it. Or if he's talking about his goals, he lost his interest in what he wants to do. That's a possibility too. Or if he's talking about a person, he lost a part of himself because when we get separated from someone, we have the feeling to lose a part of ourselves, which is totally wrong because we are ourselves no matter what. We were born alone and we die alone anyway. I'm sorry, it's not a very fun conversation. I'm talking about the lyrics. The lyrics are not fun. The dust, it settled over a lonely road. Oh my God, that is so sad. The dust is never something very exciting. The dust, it means that time has passed and nothing has been done to clean. It just happens. And you cannot do anything against that. It happens. It settled over a lonely road. Suppose he's talking about his road, his lonely road. Yes, it's a loss of illusion. That's how I understand it. It's the lost illusions. It makes me think of that. That's such a pity. That's such a pity at such a young age to write things like that because it's so sad. It makes me think tonight. My son texted me, suddenly started panicking about my visa. My visa! It's not his problem. He has a green card. My son has a green card. It's about my visa. Suddenly he started panicking about my visa. I told him, please, I'm about to shoot a video. Don't talk to me about my visa now. It's not the right time. So young and panicking so much. So young and being so sad. Well, you know, actually, when I was young, I was sad like that. I think it's maybe a matter of age. I think that older we get, more we understand things, so maybe less we panic and less we are sad. Which should be the contrary, because when we are older, when we get older, we have less time to live. We should be more sad, but we are not. we enjoy every moment that we have because we know that it's not going to last. Also, we avoid to panic too much because we know that there is always a solution if we don't panic. So we must not panic. Yeah, life is what we make it. Yes, what annoys me in these lyrics, it's like if there is nothing he can do to change that, which is wrong. And unfortunately, I was reading things like that in Mark Hollis' lyrics too, except for Life's What You Make It. Life's What You Make It, that is probably the most joyful lyrics Mark Hollis wrote. However, he said, yesterday's favorite, don't you hate it? I don't agree with that. No, because that means what you loved yesterday, you hate it today. Some people are like that. For me, no. What I loved yesterday, I still love it today. And I will still love it tomorrow. Because when I love something or someone, it's forever with me. So I don't agree totally. I lost a part of myself, the dust it settled over a lonely road. It makes me feel so sad to read that. I would say, as I was saying to Mark Hollis, I was talking to Mark Hollis on my videos. I was saying, no, no, no. I want to say, no, no, no. You stand up, you go to clean the dust. It's not going to be a lonely road. You are never alone. We are never alone. We always have our guardian angel with us. You believe in it or not, I believe in it because I had some experiences which proved me that it was the case. I'm not religious, don't ask me anything about religion. I know nothing, I have no religion, I don't do anything, don't ask me anything about anything. I know nothing. Actually, I know more about Catholic religion than other religions because I had a nanny. She was Catholic and she was taking me to church, to weddings in church and to communions and baptism and all this stuff, and I know because of that, but I don't practice anything. However, I believe that we are never alone. We have our guardian angel with us all the time. It's a matter of trust. We must trust the universe. The universe is made by such a way that it helps us. But that is another story. It's about the law of attraction. I could do tons of videos about that. You are not forced to believe in that. Once you understand it and you see how it works and that you can experience it in your life changes. I experienced it even before knowing about it, and I was wondering what it was. And later, years later, I understood what it was. Dylan, if you are talking about your road and if you feel lonely, know that you are not lonely. You are never alone. You maybe feel lonely, but you are not. Pay attention. I would say to everybody, if you feel lonely, alone, pay attention. Pay attention. Just pay attention. Have you felt it slowing down? Did you wander out of bounds? Have you felt it slowing down? That's interesting too, because no, actually I feel it speeding, really speeding all the time. Speeding and speeding and getting faster and faster and faster all the time. time is going so fast. I was feeling it slow when I was a child, but as soon as I was gone from my parents' home, it felt so fast. It's hard to catch up, and I think that a lot of people would agree with me that time passes so fast. So what he's talking about, have you felt it slowing down? Maybe he's less excited than at the beginning. I must think about it. Did you wander out of bounds? Yes, I did. Yes, sometimes we have to take risks in life, but calculated risks, I would say. We must know deep inside if it makes us happy. If it makes us happy, big chances that it's a good idea. If we feel very uncomfortable and scared, and when we think about it, it doesn't make us really happy, because scared, it's normal. When something is risky, it's always scary. But if when you think about it, it makes you happy, it means that you go in the right direction. If it doesn't make you happy, then it means that it's probably not the right solution or the right choice or the right idea. Wandering out of bounds, I suppose that it's metaphorical again, unless he means that we must wander out of the road in the mountains. Then I cannot tell, because I rarely wander on the mountains. It's a pity, because I would love doing that, but I really don't have the time for that. So I don't even wander on the road, so I'm not going to wander out of bounds. If he's talking from a metaphorical aspect, I think it has a link with what I said before. So it means, yes, sometimes you have to wander out of bounds to find your way, which will be maybe less dusty, which will be maybe less lonely, and which will be maybe faster. Who knows? We must follow our instinct. Our instinct often tells us what to do, and we must notice signs around us. Signs tell us what to do. I know the plates are shifting places underground. The plates are shifting, making the top of the mountains higher and higher. It doesn't stay still. That's probably why he's talking about that. And it means that the top of the mountains is always higher and higher. So it means that it's going to be more and more difficult to reach, because when you think you are there, it's getting harder and higher. So you have to go further. That's probably what he means, I suppose. And there's a new mood rising up over us now. So I thought, I may be wrong, I thought that the new mood rising up over us now, I'm thinking of ecology. Maybe he's talking about that, but maybe I think of that because I'm very into environment and things like that. I'm not sure. When it was new, I thought this feeling would never change, but now I'm holding on to what is left before it slips away. So that's interesting, because before he was saying, but now I hardly even notice all the mountains anymore. And further, he says, but now I'm holding on to what is left before it slips away. So it's a total contradiction, because in one case he doesn't pay attention to the mountains anymore, and then he says that he holds on to what is left before it slips away. So he doesn't want to lose what he has in mind, I suppose. It's a contradiction, but not completely, actually. He doesn't notice the mountains anymore, but he realizes what he still has in mind, and he doesn't want to forget that, and he holds on to what is left before it slips away. Things never stay still. Things evolve all the time, and we must accept to evolve with the things. We cannot stay always by the same way and do always the same thing and be always at the same place and be always with the same people. Well, we can if we want, but I mean, it's not only up to us. I mean, other people can also evolve and go somewhere else, not up to us to decide for them. So of course things change, and it's very difficult to hold on to what we have. We can hold on to our stuff, but at a point things are going to change, to evolve, to get damaged, to disappear, to fall apart. It's life. We can do nothing against that. We must just accept what the universe is giving us and be grateful for what we have, be respectful towards what we have, towards the people around us, towards where we are, and do our best to thrive in this situation. Feelings change. It happens that someone like me, when I like something or someone, usually it's forever, unless this person did awful things to me. I have friends that I've had since I'm 8 years old, and we are still friends, so it tells a lot about who I am. A lot of people are not like that. I mean, it's rare that people keep old friends like that so long. A lot of divorces in marriages. It's a pity, because now people, they change of partners as they would change of, I don't know, pants or cardigans. When you leave a partner because he or she cheats on you, I understand. When you leave a partner because he or she doesn't flush the toilets correctly, that is ridiculous. So I understand this sadness about change of feelings, because he says, I thought this feeling would never change. I want to say again, we evolve. We cannot be always the same. We can keep the memory of the feeling we had. For example, I remember loving certain things from the 70s when I was a child. And for me it was magic, and sometimes I come across photos of these things now, and I look at that and I'm like, okay, it was nice, but it was not so extraordinary. So what I do in that case is that I try to remember the feeling that I had by looking at these things, rather than these things themselves. It's more the memory of the feeling that we have which is important, because it's what brought us joy and enthusiasm, and who made us want to do certain things. It doesn't matter so much how this thing is, or this situation is, or this person is. It's the feeling itself which is important, and we must keep in mind. Because oh, it happened, I lost a part of myself. Each day that passes, I feel more like I'm somebody else. Yes, that's what we call evolving, changing, growing up, becoming an adult, being different. Yes, we cannot do anything against that, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know. I'm not the same person as I was when I was 15. I evolved, hopefully for the best. I hope so. I have the feeling to be a little bit wiser, a little bit more courageous, maybe. We learn a lot in life. By learning, we evolve and we change, and it's normal. We cannot stay still, and we cannot stay the same as we were younger. We can, as I said before, remember of the feelings that we had, and what joy it brought us, and what enthusiasm it brought us. We are going to love other things or other people, something which is naturally happening. We must embrace it and accept it. It must not be something sad. I think more we accept it, more we embrace it, and more we welcome the changes and we accept what comes to us, happier we become, and more open we are to new opportunities, maybe new loves or new things to be passionate about, new musics, new instruments, new songs, I don't know, new whatever. When I was 15, I never thought that one day I would do videos like that. Each day that passes, I feel more like I'm somebody else. You don't feel it, you are. You are somebody else. We become somebody else, but we must not forget the core of what we are and what was exciting us when we were children. Even if we don't like so much the same thing later, we must remember the feeling that we had. I come back to the same thing because it's what made us being excited about something or having a passion or doing things which excite us. We must keep this feeling and try to find this feeling in other new things. But of course, the innocence is not the same anymore. We cannot be as innocent as we were when we were children, of course. And then he says again, have you felt it slowing down? Did you wander out of bounds? Have you felt it slowing down? My feet are dragging on the ground. Oh, 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 oh. No. That's not normal. My feet are dragging on the ground. That is sad. That is the sign of a kind of being a little depressed. Yes, we are like that when we are depressed. It means that the enthusiasm is not anymore as before. Once again, we have to clean the dust from the road, the lonely road, which is not lonely. And we must find another way to want to run and not to drag our feet on the ground. Easier to say than to do, of course. I cannot go deeper in this conversation because it's a video. I don't know if it's a personal statement in these lyrics or if it's just an invention, because sometimes artists invent a story just for the sake of a song. And then he says again, have you felt it slowing down? Have you felt it? So it's interesting to read these lyrics because it says a lot. I don't know if it says a lot about what the artist has in mind, but it says a lot. I think it's beautifully written. The recording is amazing. What I heard so far, it's amazing. At the end of my video, I will give you a few images about the cats and dog that I babysitted during 5 days at my son's place. I had to go back and forth between my place and my son's place, and I was sleeping there. I had to take my cat with me, so 3 cats and 1 dog. They were wonderful company. It's wonderful to spend 5 days with the company of pets like that. So sweet and so smart and so interesting to look at. I took a few photos and I filmed them. I will put that at the end of my video. I hope that you like this video. Go to listen to the song. I will write the link in my description box. Really, it's worth listening to it. I see you in my next one. Bye bye.